you want these magazine cutout and hand-drawn text effects without placing a single keyframe? Well, here's how to make them in DaVinci Resolve for free. First, download my free Text Styles plugin, link in the description. Once it's ready, drag the installer file straight into the Fusion page, click OK, and restart Resolve. Then open your project. Open the Effects panel, then go to Titles, and drag Text Styles onto your timeline. Now you need a style to feed it. Open the Styles folder that comes with Text Styles, pick one, and drop it into your media pool. The image sequence works on any frame rate. If you want the video file but you don't edit on 24 frames per second, use the FPS variants from the separate download you get on checkout in case you got the Pro version. It's worth mentioning that Text Styles Pro comes with over 1,800 character variations across 9 styles that all together are over 30 gigabytes. Once imported, drag your style onto the plugin. Now just type. There you go. But before you go, let me explain the controls in the inspector so you know the full power of this plugin. These are basic text layout controls. They're very self-explanatory. Letter order seed sets which letter sits on top when your text overlaps. Shuffle it until the stacking looks right for you. This is really important when you're using drop shadow in per letter mode. I'll tell you about that later. Frame repeat is how many frames each texture holds before it changes. That's what gives it the stop-motion hand-animated feel. If you don't want it to animate at all, set it to freeze input. Now here's the setting most people skip. Most stylized text reuses the exact same shape every time a letter repeats, and that's what makes it look fake and cheap. To fix that, enable Use Different Time for duplicates, and every repeated letter pulls a different texture. Set the offset to match your frame repeat so it animates at the same time. That's why it looks so real instead of looking like a font. Effects Animation ties your movement to those texture changes. It makes your animation look like stop motion instead of running smooth. If your animation ever looks choppy, that's the setting causing it. Turn it off if you don't want it. To add depth, turn on drop shadow. Set it to per letter when your letters sit close together to add more realistic depth. Don't run per letter shadow on long paragraphs though, since it gets heavy and can crash your Resolve. It also works best on thick letters. On thinner ones, it can look weird. Now the animation. Text Styles runs on 2 values, a start and an end. Set where you want the text to start and end, and the plugin builds every frame in between without placing a single keyframe. To animate letters one by one, use the Stagger controls. There are options for character by character, word by word, or line by line animation in forward, reverse, or random order. The Spline Editor graph controls how that motion feels. The one thing that trips people up is the start and end range. That controls where in your clip the easing happens. The most common thing to do with these is to make the start animation end sooner and the end animation start later. One little trick you should know is that if your last letters don't finish their animation due to the stagger delay, drag the end slightly to the left until they all finish. What you're doing here is building a full letter-by-letter animation without touching a single keyframe. The plugin does all the heavy lifting for you, so you can let your creativity take control and make good-looking text for your edits, whether that's cinematic documentaries, music videos, collages, or just mixed media animations. The color controls are simple. Play with them and you'll figure them out. The most useful one is probably the gradient mode, which lets you recolor everything down to the smallest detail. That's it. Let me know what you think down below. Link in the description.